Nation of the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it'll feel like the person at 15. Welcome to the mailroom. You come in, take a look at your mind, examine what's in your heart. You can go anywhere in the world to get a couple of lives, but you come right here, get the truth. This is not a glorification nor a glamorization. It's always an education. Get on the bus and let me take you to school. Before they had handguns, they had handguards. Man up. What's good? What's good? Um, yeah, a couple of things, guys. I wanted to specifically talk about. Hope we get some people to join us shortly. I know it's unusual. It's Friday and it's cold outside. Man, by the way, guys, Randy Chicken and Waffles. Randy Chicken and Waffles. Shout out to RDL. Go to Randy Chicken and Waffles. You won't be disappointed. It's in Lancaster, in Quartz Hill. But the food, man, he got the lobster, the gumbo lobster fries. He got the gumbo fries, but he got the gumbo lobster fries. It was I had the gumbo lobster fries. I got her. What did I get? Oh, turkey chops, and then the wings, the chicken wings and not waffles. Oh man, just off the chain, off the chain. You can't miss. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to RDL. Um, my question, guys. How do you characterize today's hip hop in terms of, because we see where the hip hop artists want to be gangbangers and the gangbangers want to be hip hop artists. So how do we characterize it today? Is it um is it something much different than when we saw in the 80s and 90s when people in our age group was coming up versus today in the younger group? You know what I mean? Because is it just me, or have we trivialized hip hop culture to the point where the individuals can say or do the most inappropriate and ridiculous things that are exactly counterproductive in black culture, and we excuse the behavior? What is that? How do we get past that? How do we even continue to allow that? That's my question to everybody. Why is it so acceptable for today's hip hop to be characterized by this egregious kind of demoralizing misogyny and excessive sexualization, and combined with the theme of degradation? You know, we might as well just call it FSO. F them, suck them, overcharge them. That's what I get from it. I could be wrong, but I'm here for it. I am here for it. Let's talk about it. Anybody want to jump in the chat and talk about this hip hop? Or do you want to just talk about gang culture? You want a gang story? Because we can do either way. It makes no difference to me. I'm here for it regardless. Makes no difference. I got a homeboy, right? Named Johnny. Johnny Newman, by the way. And they always refer to him as the little one. Yeah, the little one. Very, very, very known, very charismatic individual, very talented individual. Handlebars. That he had he just had a combination of things. He was very, very well versed. I saw my homeboy William Beck today. I guess he went and checked out the channel because he been living in Arizona for quite some time. He was another one we call him Lowrider was another one that I can speak about. There's some incredible people. When you out there in that life and you in that culture, you want to know who's with you, who got your back, and definitely you got to have their back. It works both ways. So when I first met Little, he was going through Oaks Park and going to because I used to go get my hair done. His mother had the beauty shop next to Clyde McDonald, where everybody mostly went to school at. I mean, everybody that was like couldn't go to regular school because you got kicked out because you needed adjustments. Your behavior was unbecoming of the unified school district. So what they did was ship you over to Clyde McDonald or continuation. And a lot of individuals was like continuation. There was Bloods and Crips and a lot of times they would get right there in the classroom, just get into these super duper melees right there, just hand fisticuffs right there. They were all out. But anyway, his mom owned a hair salon right next door. And as time went by, we became close and we began to hang out. Matter of fact, me, both him and Gertz went to prison around about the same time. We come home about the same time. This is the first time we came home together. Basically, like maybe 2 and 3 days in a week apart. Right there, And this was right after we had lost Turtle. And I think Gangster had went back in on a violation. So it was just me. And at this time, the homies was feuding with some more homies within the neighborhood, which was kind of like, I didn't get that, It was like some little guys started calling themselves Chester Streets, right? And so me and Gertz and we got in the Cadillac, we went over there and pulled up on them, Chin, Lebo, and I can't remember all their names. I remember Chin and Lebo, and I can't remember all the other guys' names. Anyway, it was about 4 or 5 of them. They didn't have a great deal of numbers. Maybe it could have been about 10 of them all together. Lehman, Lebo, and Chin. I remember those 3 for sure. So as we talking to them and trying to get a little clarity and understanding of what is the differences between them and us, which we all knew that it wasn't no difference. It was just as likes and dislikes, and people tend to make try to discredit you if you don't necessarily align yourself with whatever they align themselves with. And difference don't mean deficient. It don't mean less than. It just be different. But I get it. Everybody want to be under, one band, one sound. I get that part. So there was some back and forth. And anyway, so we come home in a nick of time to where we can get involved and kind of correct this situation. And that we did. I remember Little had he was such a passionate guy, I had to catch him because he wanted to make Little wanted to just get on the little Chin guy. He was a little pushy, a little defiant little guy. He's pushing the line, but he didn't know who he was dealing with. I knew who he was dealing with, but he didn't know who. But anyway, I got in the middle of it and stopped it anyway. And we wind up really opening up a good line of communication. And later on, that stuff with this band, and it just went away. Just like that, it just went away. And everything kind of went back to normal in that regard. And I just remember how that happened. I can't give no real good details about it, but those who know, they know. And those who don't, they don't. So one night we was, me, Little, and Kurt together, because like at this time, we hanging at my house. Nobody's there but my father. And my father is like basically leaving the house to us. Me, my brother, and Little, and Kurt. We, doing our thing and everything, just enjoying. And at this time, Gertz met this girl named, her name was, I don't even remember her name. Her name was Sunshine. And she worked at the First King, At this time, but my right-handed guy, I've been to the strip club maybe 2 or 3 times out of my life. Not nothing I really like or prefer to do, because I believe that strip clubs, they don't, it's a bad deal, okay? You go to strip club, if you give them your money and they give you a hard Johnson, they keep your money and you keep the hard, that's a bad deal, guys. That just don't work for me. So that's nothing I never indulged in or particularly cared for. But Gertz had a girl working up there, and so that's the homie. We're going to make sure everything go correct according to whatever his vision is on that. We coming back there from one night, and particularly when we go up there, we had them goddammits on us, of course, them nuns and bobos and all that stuff. And something was wrong with the Cadillac. I don't remember what it was wrong with it, but it was like we coming down Rosecrans, and it just doom, 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 doom. And by this time, we only right by this cross Wilmington. Matter of fact, we on Wilmington and Rosecrans. So we right by Cedar Block, the treetops, and the fruit towns. Now, mind you, this is like 93? Yeah, 93. So it's pretty much like, yeah, you don't want to be right here. This ain't the place to be right here. You know what I mean? Because anything can happen. Anybody can see it. At this time, blue and red was still highly, this was still a volatile situation. And as we sitting there contemplating what our move gonna be, and we get out the car and we, finna, get to safety or whatever, we're gonna do what we had to do. But by this time, we don't pull it out. We got everything out. We ready. We looking around and making sure everything's cool. Sephora from the village pulls up. Sephora and some more of our homegirls from Park Village. And, but what y'all doing right here? Y'all crazy. Why y'all right here? We saying something wrong with the car. Okay, well, get in the car. We gonna push y'all. They pushed us all the way to the hood from right there. And we appreciated that. And we, kicked it with them and just relaxed and whatever. And it turned out okay. I mean, that was just like a situation where it could have been bad. It could have went on because we was really out of pocket. We was out of bounds. And if they would have pulled up on us, either they was going to do what they was going to do or we was going to do what we was going to do. Either way, it was going to go down. Simple as that. Or unless they pull up and I knew them, because I knew a lot of fruit towns at that time. And, but there's always the fact that somebody pulled up that you don't know, and they're not going to be, you ain't going to be able to talk to them. They're going to talk with some other kind of language that you know exactly what's going on. So as time went on, we started hanging out, and by this time, we started working for Jim Brown. So me and the homie Kizzy, we got the homeless shelter over there off of, what is it, Willowbrook and Compton. Little's over there at the other homeless shelter over by Martin Luther King. So I'm at the house. Little called me, hit me on the phone, boom, said, homie, man, I don't feel right. Something ain't right up here, man. He saw somebody circling up there, you know what I mean? Somebody that was, how youngsters would say, ops, or somebody that was from a different section, or somebody that might been trying to bring something his way. So immediately, I jump in the car, get on it, go up there, scoop him up, put one in his hand, I got one in my hand. Where they at, homie? What we doing? But that's just how our mind was back then. And I'm not saying that this was right. It was totally wrong because our mindset was different back then. But as time went by, the Jim Brown program helped us better understand how to be men and be more responsible. And a part of the tools that was in it was eliminate the negative, establish the facts, and choose your best options. Those were part of the tools of reading that booklet that Jim was passing out. He had a lot of different tools in there to help you grow your mind, expand your consciousness, and look at things from a better perspective versus just being reactionary. Because that's always been the problem with gang culture, is just being very, very, very reactionary. There are so many people in gang culture that are just super duperly reactionary. Hello, Compton. How are you, bro? What's going on, bro? So that's, for the most part, that's been just the pitfalls of being in gang culture, And part of, like, going back to what I was saying earlier, in today's hip hop, the hip hop artists want to be gang bangers, and the gang bangers want to be hip hop artists. So how this intersect, and what do we do now? How do we look at it? Is it the same from the 80s and 90s versions? I think now it's very different now, very different, and to where we knew what. You know, in today's gang culture, the Crips are killing the Crips, the Bloods are killing the Bloods, and none of it is cool, because at the end of the day, BK is black man killer, CK is color man killer. You can't get past that part of it at all. It's just something you're just not gonna be able to get past. And until we come down and come to common terms and acknowledge that we are just black people, and we have disagreements and misunderstandings, but it don't have to come down to us being mad or super egregious toward one another because of the color of a rag, or because somebody say cuz or somebody say blood. You know, and sometimes it's even more pettier than that. And then we get on, and then the internet doesn't help it at all, because now you got guys way out in living out in say for Lake Elsinore, they'll run to Compton and be all on the gang banging and throwing up their signs, and then they'll run back to Lake Elsinore, and then wherever they at, you know, people come through and jump out and start shooting or whatever, and then the guys that really caused the chaos and created the problem, they ran back to Lake Elsinore. So that never happened in the 70s and 80s and 90s and earlier 2000s. But now we created this keyboard gangster. We got a lot of keyboard gangsters. The keyboard gangsters are the guys that do all their gangsterism from the keyboards, that talk boo-cool mess for whatever reason on the internet, and be gang banging, and they have all the signs, they have the rags, they have all the lingo, they just have everything just going in a way that's you just can't fathom the end of this. And then when you see individuals putting together movements and putting together agreements or coming together in peace, but not necessarily being a peace treaty or peace talk, but just getting clarity among themselves. You stay in your hood, I stay in my hood. You don't paint on my walls, I'm gonna paint on your walls. When I see you in traffic, I'll give you a pass, you give me a pass. Simple as that. We don't have to, we don't have to kumbaya, we don't have to, but for some reason we can't seem to get past certain things, because there's always going to be neighborhoods that say they don't participate, or they're not participating, or they feel like they don't lost too many loved ones to the streets, and they refuse to come over here and sit down and politic, or sit down to better understand, that these guys are really not your enemies, it's just misunderstanding and disagreements that has been far too long. And there's too many people that's out in the graveyard. None of the people that's out there in the graveyard are no longer arguing, fussing, and fighting. Graveyard is quiet. There's Bloods, there's Hoovers, there's Pyrus, there's Crips, and there's CB70s, Taco Flats, and all these people are in the graveyard getting along, not bothering none. They don't bother with each other in the graveyard. It's very peaceful there. So all the problems seem to remain within the society itself, because society itself is failing, because of people that are dysfunctional, and then the people that's trying to run the program, they still haven't quite healed from whatever they need to heal from, and sometimes they get into these discussions, and then if somebody says something wrong with them, they take it the wrong way, and then and then that happens again. Here we go again, you know. So I think we need to be very particular about it. Same to you, Gerald. What's going on, man? We really need to be very particular about the people that come into these situations, and be able to give guidance and instructions. I think we need to be very particular about that. Everybody don't qualify to lead it. And we keep justifying this stuff, man. We keep celebrating killers. We celebrate them booty bandits. We celebrate. I mean, I see people get on the internet and they be talking. I be sitting, man. Everything I don't heard about you has been foul. I don't say nothing though, but because if I get to saying something, they gonna, I get all kind of calls. Hey man, why you do? Why you do? Get all kind of calls. And the person that they talking about be, man, he be wrong as two left shoes. Wrong as two left shoes. I don't get it. And all I want to do is just be black. I don't want to be nothing else. I just want to be black. And that's what most of you should want to be. You should want to be nothing else. Unless you're going to be an engineer, a doctor, architect, or artist, or somebody that's going to bring significance or provide substance to the culture. Again, we keep excusing behaviors that shouldn't be excused. So is it just me, or have we trivialized hip hop and gang culture to where it's just like it's almost like it's a normal thing for people to be part of that in the black community? Why we keep allowing that? This most inappropriate and ridiculous things that is counterproductive to black culture. And why is it so acceptable today? Because it's characterized by the egregiousness and demoralization and demoralizing and misogyny and excessive sexualization and combined with the theme of degradation. And we keep excusing it like you know, and we see, people, it's some people that's making some money off of that, for this inappropriate behavior. But the culture itself, society itself is failing. But for a few individuals to make money. It's just like when we see how this White House is coming together. It's like it's a QVC infomercial or something. They got everything. The sons, the daughters, the family is going and selling things and making things to put on the internet and TikTok and all this stuff. Just crazy. It's funny to me, yeah. Because when I look at it, I look at it in a greater detail and with a deeper thought, not just looking at based on feelings. A lot of people vote their feelings. They don't vote their what's best for their best interest. They don't vote their interests. They vote their feelings. And that's where we at. And that's what we deal with even in gang culture. A lot of people is just displaying feelings. I don't want to give you no feelings. I'm trying to give you what I know and what I think. I think that's best served in this culture. But coming back to Little, me and him and Gertz, we formed a real tight bond. And to the degree where we would wind up at the Quiet Cannon down there. That's when we first met Snoop Dogg down there. I think it's called the Reef now. Going down there, Snoop jumping on the mic, doing this thing. A lot of the rap people that was coming up there, it was called the Quiet Cannon. They used to have open mic. And they come up there, Willie Gaither and all that would be down there. We'd be down there chilling. I had a two-door Brougham back then. We buried my Brougham. Be down there chilling. Nothing. Just chill, We had them got damaged though. It was, it is what it is. But no, nothing ever happened. Nobody ever said anything. And we moved on there, and then we hit a lick, Well, Gertrude Montana hit that lick, My five of them. Yeah. Maybe more than that. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. So now it's up, right? It's up, right? We moving. things got really, really good, you know, and we started we started hitting the clubs, and you know, one night we at the BFW and some fool slapped the homie Jack. We beat them cats up, chased them down, ran them all the way back to their neighborhood, and all that stuff, you know. But still, in the sense that it don't be like to the part to where we looking to just take somebody's life. You know what I mean? It was like, it was fun. To be honest about it, it was fun. And you knew when to pull back. You knew when to pull back and let up and not take it too far, because you knew if you took it too far, then you was gonna have to deal with this element over here that brings, you know, the cops or whatever, you know, and then you get put in a whole nother set of circumstances. Um, so we up, man. Little wind up going OT. Gertz wind up doing what he's doing. I'm doing what I'm doing, and Gangster come home, and you know he get back to doing what he doing. And then at some time, all this stuff seemed to meet at some point. Gertz get knocked off. He going back in. Little get knocked off. He's down in Oklahoma. Was it Oklahoma or Nebraska? Nebraska. One of them. Nebraska. He's stuck in Nebraska. So by this time, we pumping in California. Me, Gangster, my brother, my homie Pee Wee, my homie Don Juan, my little brother, everybody. We getting down, right? We hitting the Shaw. We putting out at least 30 low riders on Sunday, lining them up all the way down Tucker. Come out, do a low rider block on Long Beach Boulevard, and then take it all the way to the Shaw. Bam. I'm in one of the rag bowls, right? I'm at the light on Stocker and Crenshaw at the light with my son, right? And there's some girls, they're going the opposite direction. And they happen to look over, see that rag fold. Lady jumped out, screaming, hollering, and jumped in the car. Jumped in the car. So I look at, she said, please don't put me out. Please don't put me out. I want to ride. I want to ride. Take her on up, ride, bam, brought her back, put her back in the home. But that's just the level of this thing, you know, it's like people go crazy over certain things that they never been a part of, or they think they see it and they just want to be, you know, get in it, touch it, feel it, or whatever. They just want to be a part of it. So shortly after then, we started, me, Gangster, my brother, and all of us, we started being investigated. So I'm seeing all these white people, right? And these people was filming these. I'm like, well, who is them over there filming? All the time. There was so many people out there with cameras filming stuff. You didn't know who was who and what was what. The feds was blending in right with these people filming. We thinking like Cali Swinging, Young Hog, and all these other people. At that time, that was the VHS era where people was doing all these Young Hog videos and Cali Swinging videos and doing all these lowrider stuff, filming on everybody cars and stuff, hitting the Shaw. You know, I had bought that El Camino from Gangster. I would drive the rag folk from Gangster. You know, uh, and that man had so many damn low riders. I don't know how many cars can you drive, G? He got them all, right? Anyway, it just became just fun every Sunday. Then we had a rule like when we hit the show, no women, we ain't taking no women. Ain't no women riding with us. We hogs. Leave your girl, man. You better not come on the gutter with your girl in the car talking about you going to show, man. We clowning. We weren't doing that, you know. That was just like, as Jesse Jackson would say, that's a no-no. So shortly after the end, we get indicted. The day we get indicted, they get Gangster first, right? And I'm not aware of what's going on because Mama Helen come on and She said, Melly, you talked to Fred? She called you Fred. I said, no, I ain't seen him today, Mama Helen. Matter of fact, it's weird because he usually be here by now, right? And he wasn't here. Unknown to me, the feds had already grabbed him. I didn't realize they had grabbed him until they grabbed me at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm coming out my spot, and I had a long driveway. When I get to the long driveway, the gate open, I come out, and there was a car sitting there. Now, where my driveway was and where this car was sitting, it was no way a car was supposed to be sitting right there for no reason, none. But when I looked, I couldn't see in it. Like they had a front window tint or something, so I couldn't see in it. So when I came out, I made a right. The car fires up, the lights come on. So I'm like, what the heck? So I hit another right, but I was supposed to go left. So I'm trying to see what's going on with this car. So I take a right. And I hit the peanut on Santa Fe. By the time I hit the peanut, man, they pulled me over. They hit me with the, pulled me over. And they asked me my name. And they had this big ass picture and they put it up next to me. They said, oh yeah, that's him, that's him. That's him. Then they started asking me where my car's at. Where this car at? What you mean where my car's at? What kind of question is that? You know, oh, we want that. We want your car. You want my car? I'm not telling you nothing. If you can't find it, that's on you. But I'm not volunteering. Man, I don't volunteer nothing for nobody. You can go get the president of the United States. And I'm not volunteering nothing. It's all shut down from here now. It's over because I'm feeling like, this thing is finna get ugly. So when they pull me up, they got this over there off they take me to the counter station. They said, no, they take them to Linwood. So when I get to Linwood, they driving my car now. They driving my car and they put me in the Fed car. And I see all this yellow tape that said federal seizure and forfeiture. So they pulling cars up in there. They pulling lowriders. They pulling everything up in there. Because by this time, they simultaneously hitting the dudes in Watts, hitting the dudes in L.A., hitting the dudes in Compton, hitting the dudes wherever. Everybody that was coming on the gutter, getting with us, they was now arresting people, right? So when that car pulled back, and I happen to look over and I see G. I'm like, oh, sheesh. My eyes buck now. He hit me like that. I hit him back. And I like, do my shoulders because I'm handcuffed. What's going on? And he do me back. What's going on? Right? So we both perplexed, right? So they get us all out. By this time, they don't accumulate all these cars and all this stuff. So I hear about the boy Bumbas. He get into like a standoff, Mexican boy. He get into a standoff with the Fed SWAT team. They finally get him and bring him over there. So by this time, CBS, KBT, ABC, QB, BBC, and everybody's out there setting up film crews and news reporters. And they got all their news reporters. They got these vans out here with these high power antennas. They got everything on. They got everything out there waiting, right? And they finna start, if we come out, and then they come in and they doing these. They got all these people on computers and laptops, and they trying to ask us questions. They asking my name, and I'm really like I ain't got nothing to say, nothing. So at this point, I start seeing people going in other directions, right? So now my ears are open, my eyes are open, and I'm paying attention. I see people where everybody is going to the left. I see a few people go to the right. So I'm like, what's that all about? Come to find out, those are the ones that when they first contact those are the dudes that was on some mouth out bail. They trying to mouth out bail on this situation because if they made my homie gangster the kingpin, the leader of this situation, they got me labeled as a lieutenant. They got my brother labeled as a lieutenant, and they got and all these other people like we controlling, like we got this big old man. Come on, man, y'all don't come on, man, y'all don't blew this thing way out of proportion. They trying to run like it's a CCE, a criminal enterprise or something, like this, Okay, we was getting money, but don't make it seem like we Noriega, or we Blandone, or we Oliver North. Don't make it like that because that's what they do. They start tapping phones and doing they even when they finally got, they said well, they had to watch me because I was doing reverse reconnaissance. I would jump off the freeway, get back on the freeway, pull up behind them. Because when I first started seeing stuff, I like, wait a minute, something ain't right. I'm coming off the right there by the Miller Brewing Company off the 210, transitioning to the 605. I get right there and I look, and this white man and white lady, they looked at me, and I looked at them. I said, damn, something ain't right about that. so, and they remembered that day, they remembered that, but I knew it was something. So they were saying I was always doing counter surveillance. I was all because I kept binoculars. I still got my binoculars. I got my binoculars right now. I should have had them right. They in my bag, but I keep them with me. No matter where I go, I got my binoculars with me. Right to this day. Still, that habit doesn't change for me. That habit does not change for me. I keep my binoculars. I would go get them, but I don't need to do that. Y'all don't see me with my binoculars before. But anyway, so by this time, when these dudes start mouth out bailing and they start telling, shout out to Rube Dog, man. They start telling on me. They told on my brother. They told on Gangster. They start telling, man. They start writing stuff down and passing it between each other and all that. Man, come on, man. And by this time, we meet a whole nother cat. That's when we meet Sammy Green. Rest in peace, Sammy Green, Popeye, out of the low bottoms. He on there with an airhead out of Bennett Showline. Bennett Showline airhead. He the kingpin of that. It was about 30 people on that indictment. He told on all the people he was selling. Come on, man. Are you kidding? You the dude that's running. You telling on all the people. Man, it's just this weird, bro. Weird. The dude, I don't even know if the dude now, I can't name his name, was Brown, something Brown, man. From Bennett Showline, man. That dude told him, put all them stuff on that man like that, man. What's up, boss? The calls, boss. Airhead put that stuff on the dude, man, and I think they gave him a life sentence. Gave him a couple of bodies, But anyway, so we wind up pleading what is known as foreseeable. You guys don't heard me say I don't go to trial. If I do anything, it's gonna be a bench. It's gonna be a bench trial for me. I take my chance with the judge because the judge has to follow the law. That's generally what I do. But when the deck is stacked so hard and so severe, and good common sense, right? I got good common sense. I look at the preponderance of evidence, and I see everything that they had. I knew emphatically that this was not a win-win. No, there was no way you can win on this. This was a foreseeable case. A foreseeable meaning you take responsibility for your part. And that way you don't have to do anything other than that. There's nothing to be said. There's nothing to talk about. Nothing that because they got me on two controlled buys, and the guy that did it with me was a guy his name was Mark. I'll just leave it at that. He owned a car lot, and he was with another dude, right, that I thought was a major player. And I'm not saying that the other dude had anything to do with it, but the dude name was Dennis. He with this dude, right? So I'm thinking like, why is this dude? Because how they got me on that is because my kids, my children's mother, uncle, Gerald, I told him I was gonna look out for him, right? And when he came over, he worked for the dude that owned the car lot. So when Gerald came, he got the guy with him. By him being with Gerald, where I had been like turning him down. Now when he with Gerald, he with Uncle Gerald, I went on and took care of him. And that's where I made my mistake. Should have stuck to my gun and never dealt with the guy. Should have never gave in, should have never dealt with him because here's the thing. Don't never change what you do. Always stick to what's been working and don't get greedy and don't go outside of. Here's the thing. Turn your circle into a square. That way you can see everybody that's in your corner. Don't worry about your circle. Turn your circle. Always turn your circle in a square to a square. That way you can see everybody's in your corner. Because when you say you got a circle, and I hear people talking about this is a circle of trust, you can't see everybody in your circle the way you need to see them if you place each and every individual in a corner. You can see them clearly like that. Boom, boom. It's only four. You'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, right? So when I'm looking at all this, right? So again, once again, I beat 2 bench trials by taking a judge trial because see, in a bench trial, the judge has to follow the law, and if there's reasonable doubt in the preponderance of the evidence, and there's mitigating circumstances, and you know that all that stuff is favoring you, then you take them down. Yeah, not all money is good money. You're right, bro. Not all money is good money. You're right. So I won that twice, beat them, right? And so, but this time the feds, I had never dealt with the feds. I didn't because they start using like Adina Corella, Cornovis, Prima Facie, Amicus Brief, Mandamus, and they start using different terms, Latin terms that I was very unfamiliar with. So I started going to the law library, getting quickly trying to familiarize myself with the federal seconds and thirds and America's jurisprudence and understanding the Black's Law Dictionary and defining what these words are and where do I fit into the grand scheme of this situation that's about to occur, right? So I'm trying to fully understand it, get a grasp on it, and that way I can come up with the mitigating circumstances because they're going to do what is known as a PSR, pre-sentencing report, and then within the pre-sentencing report, there's always mitigating circumstances, But being that I'm a graduate, I had two-parent home. There was no mental illness within so in that sense, I had no mitigating circumstances, to be honest with you, because I was sound. I was found to be sound mind and reasonable. I was there. I was cognizant to the circumstances that was going on because in federal court you can't plead guilty to a sentence that you're not conscious of or cognizant of. It'll be an illegal sentence. Great Walker. There's a case called Great Walker. Federal United States Supreme Court ruling, Great Walker, you can't plead to an illegal sentence. But anyway, so once I started going through all this stuff and reading, fully understanding, I knew that we couldn't beat this stuff. So me, my brother Gangster, my brother, my homie Pee Wee, and a few others that was like close to us, we decided that we was gonna, plead to our own individuals' circumstances, right? So what happens, I pleaded to 151, 188 months, but they gave me was it the low end or the mid end? Something, my low end was 131, My mid was 151 and my high was 188. That's what it was. They gave me the mid. They gave Gangster the same thing with me, what I had, but they hit him with an 851. And the 851 doubled the sentence, gave him 20 years. So we all had the 841, A, B, manufacture, distribution, and we had that. And the 846 was the conspiracies. We all had that. And then there was some other things in there like money laundering and different property or whatever. There was a lot of tax evasion and all that different stuff, right? Uh, so, but anyway, we all pleaded out, right? And we all went to that. So by the time I get to Terminal Island, they sent me and my brother, Age, and my homie and nephew, which was Lil Ernie's nephew. We called him nephew, and Lawrence Reed was from Antons Park. Nephew was from the Swans, and the other guy, Bud, who wound up being, he was from Bounty Hunters. They all sent us to Terminal Island. But at this time, we don't even know. We know Bud don't did something, but not to the degree of what happened. It was the Bounty Hunters that was able to bring, matter of fact, it was PD. Papa Dad, PD got to the bottom of it. Yeah, they got to the bottom. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Rest in peace to PD, Papa Dad. Good dude, very good dude. Yeah, he rest in peace. But anyway, so we got to that, right? So when I get there, my homie Billy D is there. Tyrone. I ain't seen Tyrone since when the last time I seen Tyrone in the 80s. I ain't seen Tyrone since the 80s. I know he had caught a murder in Las Vegas, and he beat that. And then right after he beat that, he get indicted out of South Bend, Indiana, on a drug conspiracy. And they gave him, I think they gave him 26 or 27 years in the feds. So when I get to much to Melly, always love to the big up. Right on, man. Right on, K-Boy. Right on. Appreciate you. So when I get to Terminal Island, I don't know that Billy D is there. So when I go to Child, I'm sitting down there and I'm looking, and I see this dude over in this white, because all the kitchen was white uniform. I'm like, I said, damn, that look like Billy D. I said, Billy D. He turned around, and when he heard that name, he said, he knew it had to be somebody that really knew him because I called him Billy D. Turn around, it was Billy D. So now Billy D let me know that the homie Clock is there. And then later on, the homie L Dog came, Elgin. So it's me, my brother, Billy D, Clock, and we had another homie. Who was that? Who was the other homie there? I can't remember. Somebody else there, right? And then it was L from Athens and nephew from the Swans. So by us being co-defendants, we hung together, right? So shortly after, everybody get to go home. Nephew, my brother go home. Nephew go home. L go home. L looking out. Nephew, they sending me stuff, and take care of it. And then me and a cat named Neville King, we wound up being sellers. Neville King out of West Los Angeles. He was a big money guy, and he was getting a lot of money out of West Los Angeles. He had a big case out of Detroit with the YBI, or Young Boys Incorporated, out there. Butch Jones, I think. Yeah, Butch Jones. So when I get little after, here come Little. My love was show up to turn around. He come from Colorado. So me and Little, we back together, like we were on the streets. We walking at Terminal Island. And so when we get there, so Willa started coming up to see me at Terminal Island. So at the time, I don't know this dude, John. There's a dude named John, right? John is the dude that told on Bosco. He at Terminal Island. So when we in visiting, my wife looked up and she said, oh, there goes John. I said, John? I said, that dude right there? She said, yeah, he the one that told, right? I said, oh. so, at the time, me and Little, we had the keys to, the car. So, we get back to the yard. Jaja, you got to go. I don't know where you're going. We're going to give you a chance. We're going to let you make it, bro. We're going to give you a chance. If you don't, you know what's coming, right? We talked to him and gave him a little bit of room, and he go over there, knocked on that door. Doom, 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 doom. Man, I got to get up in there. I got to get up off the yard. He get off the yard. Yeah. So, yeah, me and Little was right there. But the crazy part about all that, guys, is what I'm reason why I go through all this and tell you guys all this is that me and Little, and then Al Dog from Palm Oak, he get up there. We walking, we talking. We do this like, man, I got there in 2003. Didn't leave to 2010. Little got there around about 2006. So we had at least 4 years together. And Billy D had been there since the 90s. So I spent all that time with them right there and everybody that went home. And then it was crazy because when it came my time to go home, man, I literally wanted to put Little in my pocket, put Billy D in my pocket, and walk through R&D, R&R, whatever they call receiving and release, and take them with me. But I couldn't, man. It's like a cold moment, man, that it really like gets to you because you leaving somebody behind that you don't build all this trust, and you don't build it because at that time it was me and Little we put the Kev Mac that got in contact with L. L was Kev Mac's cousin, and that's how we did the article for Santana for the All Hood Publishing magazine. I still got the magazine in my drawer. But anyway, so that's how we meet Kev Mac, and me and Little, we wrote up everything and sent it to him, and he published it. So when I got out, I was getting out, man. I literally shared a chair, man, because I wanted to take my homeboys with me. I didn't want to leave them there because we had spent so much time, and they had spent so much time in there, and it was just time. It was just time to go, bro. It was just kind of go. But I knew in my mind, I had acquired enough information, enough knowledge to know that I wasn't going to never go back to find myself in a federal prison like that anymore, based on everything that I read and everything I understood about it and everything I became, And I got out here, and here I am on the internet talking to y'all now. So got out in 2010, and I never looked back. And I remember when I got out, right? So it was a guy, what his name was, Ventura. Ventura said, yeah, man, you home, right? You in my city. He told my wife, like, if he do anything wrong, you let me know, and I'll send him back and all this crazy stuff. Man, where's you going with all this? He said, man, I read your jacket, and if the drug sales and people start dying in my city, I see your record, and I said, bro, listen, let me tell you something, man. Whatever, I don't know what you read in there. I don't really care. But if you think I'm that same person, and I've been gone 10 years. And if you think I haven't changed within 10 years, you got to be the dumbest probation officer in the world. Because things change. Change is occurring every day, every second, every nanosecond. But there's sometimes people that don't want to be a part of change. I'm not one of them. I'm part of change. I want change. I want to be different. I don't want to be one of those people that be expecting a different result, doing the same thing, expecting a different result, which equals insanity. I'm not that person. I've grown. I'm navigating. So I went home, and things worked out really well. Now little got out, and Billy D got out. Everybody's doing well now. Nephew's out, Lawrence out, My brother's out, gangsters out, Pee-wee's out. Everybody's out, you know. Only one is not out is my homeboy Don Juan. And gave Don Juan a life sentence for a gallon of PCP. Got it in the mail. Somebody he really trusted. Somebody he really trusted, a girl, just, you know, set him up. Let him walk straight into that trap. Archangel, what's going on, Henry? E-Money, what's happening, man? Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys coming in here, sitting here with me, rumbling, mumbling. It's been amazing, guys. But once again, man, I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, share, drop a comment down below. But once again, don't mind me just watching. Church moving. But go ahead and lock that door. Wally Dog, happy holidays. We need Wally Dog back in the Majestics. Wally Dog, man, go on and put something together, man. Call me sometime, Wally Dog. Once again, I'm out, man. But go ahead and lock that door.